everyone, it's Stephanie here with a video for My Favorite Things. In today's video, I am going to be creating a card using new products from the May 2017 release to create a really fun and textured beach scene on our card. So I'm going to be using the new Beach Scene Builder Dynamics die set, which includes all of these awesome dies that is going to create an entire beach scene on your cards. I love that there's so many different elements, so you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to use on your card, so you have a ton of different options for endless card designs. So the first thing we're going to do is create the sand and the water. So I have two shades of glitter here. This is Elizabeth Craft glitter, and I have the sky and the champagne gold. And we're going to use these two colors to create a little bit of texture on the bottom of the card by adding a glittery sand area and glittery water. So I have the beach scene die that is going to cut the sand and the water. I really love this die because it kind of goes together so that the sand and water ends up being one area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out of a piece of cardstock that has double-sided adhesive on it. So I added the adhesive to the cardstock, and then I ran this through my die cutting machine so that I could cut out both the top and bottom area of this die. And you can decide which way you want to position it. If you want more water in your scene, then you would put the larger area at the top for the water. But if you prefer to have more sand area, then you would just put the larger area at the bottom. So for my card, I decided that I wanted the sand area to be larger, so I'm just going to add the glitter to this piece first. So I'm just going to lift up the little backing sheet on my panel here and add some glitter so that I can make sure that I'm not touching any of the adhesive with my fingers. And then once I have a little bit on there, I can go ahead and peel the rest off and completely cover this. I'm going to use my finger to kind of burnish it into the back area and kind of make sure that I have everything completely covered. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put the rest of that excess glitter back into the container so that I can finish this piece. I always like to take my bone folder and burnish over the image one more time just to really make sure that I have that glitter really pressed down in. And once you do this step, you're not going to have any problem at all of any of that glitter coming off. That's one of the great things I love about this glitter is once you have it adhered and really burnished in, it stays put. It doesn't come off. You don't have glitter everywhere. It's just a really nice glitter that gives a really nice effect without a ton of mess after the card is created. So once I have the sand piece done, I'm going to do the exact same thing for the sky piece. So I'm just going to get a new coffee filter since it is a different color of glitter. And I'm going to once again just peel up that edge, add some glitter, and then once I have it fully removed, I'll make sure I completely cover this piece with the glitter and burnish it in with my fingertips. Then I will take the excess glitter and put it back into the container and then fully burnish that in with my bone folder just to make sure that everything is fully adhered to that piece. And now I have my water and I have my sand all ready to go for my scene. Now that I have those done, I can kind of set these two pieces aside and work on some more elements that I want to use on the card. So to create even more texture, I decided to bring in some more things that would add some fun texture with a different look. So for the tree, I decided to use cherry wood paper. So this is a really fun way to add a wood texture that's kind of realistic since it is a tree. So I'm going to take the tree trunk and cut the tree trunk out of that wood paper. And this is literally real wood. It's just really super thin and it die cuts like a dream. It runs through your die cut machine no problem. And now I have this really great detailed tree trunk that can be used with our little glitter pieces there. I also cut out some coconuts. You can see them there at the top of the screen. I cut those from that same wood paper, and now I have that texture on those coconuts as well. So now it's time to move on to the last part of texture that we're going to add to this scene, and that is going to be with texture paste. So I have some white texture paste here, and the first thing I'm going to do is add this to my little cloud die cuts. So I'm not going to lie, this can get a little bit messy. If you don't like to have kind of texture paste all over your fingers, this might not be for you, especially with these clouds. They are pretty tiny. So you are going to get some of that texture paste onto your fingers. It doesn't bother me. It comes right off. It's not a problem at all. So I just go ahead, let it be messy, and then I just kind of clean up immediately when I'm done so that nothing fully dries and hardens. So I'm just going to kind of use a little craft knife here and add that texture paste to the three clouds. And then once I have that done, I want to do the same thing to the tree. But since the tree is supposed to be green, I decided to tint the texture paste with some green ink. And that is going to allow me to use that texture paste to get that great detail on the treetop, but have it the right color. So I just smushed some ink onto my craft mat there and then put the texture paste directly into that ink. And then just used my little craft knife thing here and just kind of mixed it together until I had it the right color. And then I did the same thing and added it completely to the top of the tree. And one of the things I like to do too is use my fingers to kind of dab in the texture paste when it's still wet, and it just helps to add even more texture and dimension to the image. So now that I have all those pieces done, that texture paste is going to need to dry, so I'm going to go ahead and work on the rest of the parts of the card so that we are ready to assemble everything. So I have a white cardstock panel here, and this is going to be the base of the card, and I'm just taking some peacock feathers to stress ink and adding some ink to the center area of the panel. This is going to be the sky area, so I want to have some blue detail there. And as always, because you know me and you know I'm going to do it, I went ahead and added some water to the panel just to kind of give it that distressed look and give it a little bit more texture. And then once I have that done, I did wait a little bit to make sure that my texture paste was dry, and now I can go ahead and assemble the card. So the first thing I'm doing is adding this sand and the water detail to the bottom, since this is going to kind of anchor our scene. So I adhered both of these pieces to the card panel, and then I just trimmed off the excess from the sides. And now I'm going to position that tree trunk onto the card base, and this cherry wood paper is adhesive backed, so you don't even have to worry about adding adhesive to it. You just peel the backing sheet off and it will stick on there no problem. And then I adhered this whole panel to my card base so that I had that ready to go. And now I'm just going to finish adding all of the smaller details. So I put all of the coconuts into the sand. I didn't want to have them in the tree because I really like that texture paste, and I didn't want to have those coconuts kind of competing with it. So I put the coconuts in the sand, I added the treetop to the tree, and now I'm adding the clouds to the background. And I'm just kind of positioning them, figuring out where I want them, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere them down. And then once I have that done, I can go ahead and kind of figure out what I want to do for a sentiment. Now, it's not in the video. I didn't actually decide to do this until later. What I did in the video is I stamped a sentiment on the inside of the card, and I was going to leave the outside completely plain. I didn't think I wanted to have a sentiment, and I kind of liked it as it was. But the more I looked at it, I decided that I wanted a different element to this card. I kind of wanted to add something fun and playful to the scene. So what I did is I took the You're Mermazing stamp set, and I took the little turtle image from that set, and I ended up stamping and coloring that and cutting him out. And I also stamped a cloud from the Beach Bunny stamp set and stamped the word hello in it, which is from the Seaside Seagull stamp set. So a whole bunch of different stamps kind of worked together to add those two finishing touches to the card. And I really like how it added that playful look to all of that texture and fun in our scene. So that is going to complete today's card. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.